Hello, this is Mrs. Robertson, and we are getting ready for a math test tomorrow, and we have some review of Chapter 7 worksheets here, and we're going to talk about how to get the right answers. So let's look at the first one. I think question number 1 is so easy it's hard. It says on a scale drawing, the scale is 1 inch on the scale is 1 foot in real life. What are the dimensions on the scale drawing for a room that is 12 feet by 10 feet? Well, 1 inch over 1 foot equals how many inches? I had the answer, x inches over 12 feet. Well, 1 times 12 is 12, so 1 inch times 12 will give you 12 inches. X equals 12 inches. So kids, tomorrow on the test you have to show a proportion like this, where you have 1 inch over 1 foot equals something over 12 feet, and it ends up being 12 inches. All right? Yes, I know you can do this in your head, but if it tells you you get points for writing it down, write it down. Any questions on that? Then you have to do the other one. 1 inch over 1 foot equals question mark over 10 feet. Well, 1 times 10 is 10. 1 inch times 10 means it's going to equal 10 inches. So you'll have 12 inches by 10 inches. Any questions on how to do that? Okay, number 2. We know these are complementary angles because this represents a right angle, and a right angle has 90 degrees. So since it's complementary, it equals 90. So 4x plus 42 degrees equals 90. Now we can solve for x. Subtract 42. 4 times x equals 48. Divide both sides by 4, and x equals, did you get 12? Very good. X is 12. And all it wants you to do is find the value of x. All right, in the next one, x plus 3 plus 49 equals 180 degrees. Now, since it's all addition, we can combine our like terms. X plus 52 equals 180 degrees. Do you see what I did there? Now we are going to subtract 52. And we will end up with x equals 128 degrees. So the answer for this one, 128 degrees. Any questions? On the next one, 3x plus 18 equals the straight line. And how many degrees are in a straight line? 180. It's supplementary. 180 is supplementary, 90 is complementary, so here we go. Minus 18, 3 times x equals, did you get 162? Divide by 3, x equals 54. Is that what you have? Any questions? The nice thing, kids, you don't have to worry about any negative numbers on this test. Everything, I think, will be positive. And so that's sort of nice. It's a little more relaxing doing these. Then you have to draw some pictures of angles. Acute angle is less than 90. An obtuse angle is greater than 90. And a right angle is exactly 90. And you have to have that little box in there. Any questions on that? Everyone knows that? Good. How tall is the person? Well, I have h over 7 equals 3 over 4. Now, there are a lot of different ways you could set it up. But when you do your cross products, they're going to be the same. You're going to end up with 7 times 3 equals 4 times h, or 4 times h equals 7 times 3. As long as your cross products are the same as mine, you did it correctly, okay? Then, divide by 4, and you get 5 and 25 feet. Any questions on that? Does everyone see how to do that? Thumbs up on this page. Everything's pretty good. All right. Now go ahead and work on the other pages, and I'll go over these in just a little while. Okay, so on this page it says, what is the classification of the angle shown? That is a acute angle. If you want to, we can draw pictures to remind us the right triangle or a right angle has the box in it. A straight angle is a straight line. It has 180 degrees. And an obtuse angle is less than 180 but greater than 90. Any questions on how to do that? In number 2, 5x plus 140 makes a straight angle, which is 180 degrees, which is also supplementary, right? So in this one, you subtract 140. You then end up with 5 times x equals what? 40? Divide by 5, divide by 5, x equals 8. Any questions? What is the value of x in the figure at the right? Well, we are going to use the terms of opposite and vertical angles. It's the same thing. And opposite or vertical angles are congruent. So 2x is equal to 60. Okay? Divide both sides by 2. And you end up with the answer of x equals 30. Is that a choice? 30. Right there. Any questions on that? Okay, supplementary means 180 degrees. So the measure of angle 1 is 27 degrees. What is the measure of angle 2? Well, 27 plus the measure of angle 2 equals 180. Subtract 27 from both sides, and you will get the measure of angle 2 equals 10 minus 7 is 3, 7 minus 2 is 5, 153. And that is the answer right there. Okay, any questions? Number 5, a building is 120 meters tall. A scale model of the building uses a scale 1 centimeter is the same as 6 meters on the real building. How tall is the model? Well, 6 meters, 120 meters. This is one you can cross multiply, or we can just find common factors. 6 times what's 120? I think it's 20, right? 6 times 20 gives you 120, doesn't it? So I can just take 1 times 20, and the answer will be 20 centimeters. Now, the tricky thing here, and I don't know if it'll be tricky on the test, which 20 do you circle? Yes, it's the model. How tall is the model? It's 20 centimeters, not 20 meter sticks. No, 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 no. That's how tall it would, that would be way too big. So you have to pay attention on these, okay? That could be a tricky part. Any questions? All right, let's go to number 6. Which pair of angles is congruent? Well, opposite angles or vertical angles again. 4 and 2 are congruent. 1 and 3 are congruent. So 1 and 2, no. 1 and 4, no. 4 and 3, no. The only one is 4 and 2. Now, I want to talk to you just a moment about adjacent angles. We talked about those. Does anyone remember what adjacent angles are? Yes.
They share the same
ray. They share the ray, yeah. Vertex is the point, but they share a ray. Now, they talked about adjacent angles on the test. Angle 1 and angle 2 are adjacent because they share that ray. See that? Angle 2 and angle 3 are adjacent. I don't know if they talk about adjacent angles on the test, but I just want you to know what they are, okay? They are next to each other and they share a ray. They are not the same shape and same size, unlike opposite or vertical angles. Now, how far is it from the hut to the gold coin? Here is the hut, and here is the gold coin. Now we have to look at what we have and how it corresponds. Okay, I have a big triangle and a little triangle. So I'm going to set it up like this. Big, little. Okay. This side corresponds with this side. How do I know? A 2 and a 3. A 2 and a 3. You see that? So the big side is 18, and on the little, or the big triangle is 18, the little triangle is 12. Now we have to figure out our mystery side. The hut to the gold coins. On the little one, we don't know what it is, so it's going to be our mystery. X goes with little. What side matches it on the big? Well, it's 2 to 1. It's got 2 of those things on one. Well, this one's got 2 and 1, so it's this, 15. Do you see how I found its corresponding part? It's pretty easy because it only gave you 2 different ones to use. Sometimes they give you some other ones and you have to figure out which one it corresponds with. Now it's easy. We cross multiply and divide. 12 times 15 equals 18 times x. Divide both sides by 18 and you end up with 10. Is that what you have? Yeah. 10 yards equals x. So it's 10 yards. I think this is one where you've got to pay attention to the labels and things that it wants you to do. Your labels and things will be worth points when you have to do the fill-in ones. Number 8, how tall is the person? Well, it's the big triangle and the little triangle. This is the big one. Okay, we all see the big one. And this is the little one. Okay, so I'm going to do big, little, and here we go. 25 over h, so I have the 25 on the big, that matches the h on the little, equals 20 over 5. 20 over 5. All right, so just going to cross multiply and divide. 25 times 5 equals 20 times h. Divide both sides by 20 and you will get did you get 6 and 25 hundredths? So that cancels. 6 and 25 hundredths, or 6 1/4 feet, is the height. How tall is the person? 6 and 1/4 feet. You could have 6.25 feet. What's 1/4 of 12 inches? Yes. You could say 6 feet 3 inches. Now, if you say that, you're going to make Mrs. I know what the answer is for this one, but there are several different ways to write that answer. Any questions? Okay, go ahead and finish the other side, and then I'll go over those answers in a moment. All right, now let's go on to the third and final page of our wonderful review to get us ready for that test tomorrow. Okay, now, on this problem, vertical angles are congruent, so this will equal that. 3x equals 84. Divide both sides by 3. Kids, on the test it says show your work. So you have to show your work because it's worth points. You don't show your work, you get no points. Some of you know who you are whenever you forget to do that. 2, 6, 24. Did you get x equals 28? Okay, so x equals 28 for this one. The next problem, number 2, that means it's going to equal 90. 46 plus 4x equals 90. Subtract 46. Now you have 4 times x equals 44. Divide both sides by 4, and x equals 11. Any questions on that? Yes, Gavin?
I want to do number 3.
All right, go ahead.
So for number 3, so 160, and when it, yeah,
Mystery angle.
yeah, the mystery angle are the same way. So it creates a straight angle. So that would be 180, and then the other one has to be 180. So then 20, because this is a right angle.
Oh, you did it a different way.
Yeah, I did 20 minus 90, and I got 70.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
What?
Well, the answer is 70.
I wasn't even there.
And the way you did it was fine. This is the way I did it, and there's more than one way to do this. I know that 160 plus mystery angle is a straight angle, which is 180. So that's going to be 20. My mystery angle, 160 plus 20 is 180. So now I know, because of that little box, x plus 20 equals 90. So I just did 20 plus x equals 90, subtract 20 from both sides, and I also get the correct answer of 70. So in number 3, there is more than one right way to do these problems. Any questions on how to get a 70? All right. In number 4, vertical or opposite angles are congruent. 5 times x equals 75. Divide both sides by 5. And x equals 15. Any questions on that? Okay. Now let's go to number 5. Suppose you are making a scale drawing. Find the length of each object on the scale drawing with the given scale. Then find the scale factor. When you do the scale factor, they have to have the same labels. But when you're doing the scale drawing, you don't. Okay? So the first one, a room is 14 feet long, and in the scale, 1 inch equals 6 feet. All right. So 1 inch equals 6 feet, or over 6 feet equals, and this is my scale actual, equals x over 14 feet. Well, to get the answer, 6 times x equals 14. Divide both sides by 6, and the answer is 2.3 repeating inches, or 2 1/3 inches. Any questions on that? Then I have to get my scale so it's in the same units. And I'm going to change feet to inches. How many inches are in 1 foot, class? 12. 6 times 12 is 72. So my scale factor is 1 inch over 72 inches. They just changed it so it's 1 unit for the scale factor. Any questions? I don't think scale factor's on your test tomorrow. I'll have to look closely, but I don't think that it was. The next one was just a little trickier. A tower 40 meters tall, and the scale is 8/10 of a centimeter equals 1 meter. Well, to go from 1 to 40, I just multiplied by 40. So 8/10 times 40 is 32.0. Everyone see how I got 32 centimeters? Now here's the scale factor. I came up with several different scale factors. 8/10 of a centimeter equals 100 centimeters, because 1 centimeter, there are 100 centimeters in a meter. Okay, so 1 meter is 100 centimeters. Any questions on that? But they don't like for you to have a decimal in your numerator, so you just move it 1. So 8/10 centimeters would be 8 centimeters is the same thing as 10. That's not right. It would be 1,000 centimeters, wouldn't it? Yes, I don't take a, that should be 1,000 centimeters, because when I do this, I do this. So 8 centimeters would be 1 1,000 centimeters, and that would simplify to 4 over 50. Actually, it would be 4 over 500, right? And then you can simplify it. Nope, it won't simplify it. Yeah, 2 will go into it again. I think 4 will go into it. It would simplify to 1 centimeter over 4 will go into 500.
It does?
Yeah. 500 divided by 4 equals 125. So 1 centimeter over 125 centimeters is the final answer for that one. There's not a problem that challenging on your test tomorrow. I'll go back through and double check it, but I don't think there are any that hard. Okay? Number 6, how many degrees are in a triangle? 180. Now this next question is not, but it's on 6th grade I Learn. How many degrees are in a quadrilateral? 360. 360 degrees in a quadrilateral, 180 in a triangle. So 88 plus 29 is 117. Subtract it from 180 and you get what? 63 degrees? And it is an acute triangle because all the angles are less than 90. In number 7, 48 plus 42 is 90. 180 minus 90 is 90. That is a right triangle. Okay? Now, if they had one where the angle's bigger than 90, like 92 degrees, that would be an obtuse triangle. Question?
Would you get points taken off or not from the degree?
Not the degree sign, but for the inches labels and things, you might. Yes.
Hey, like, are we putting our answers into math?
I know the multiple choice, you definitely will. And then there's one piece where it's fill in the blanks like this, and it tells you on the test how many points you get for each one. Let me finish this next problem, and we'll talk just a little bit more about the test. Number 8, a model of a building is made using a scale of 1 inch equals 20 feet. What is the height of the actual building if the height of the model is 10.5 inches? So 1 inch, 10.5, 20 feet equals what? Well, you take 20 times 10.5 and that'll give you X, and the answer is 210 feet or inches. What am I putting? Feet, that's right. Because it goes here, X equals feet, 210 feet. Be very careful whenever you are doing your labels, okay, kids? All right, so what do I want you to do? I want you to study this tonight. If you want to, you can put your headphones on and listen to Mrs. Robertson tell you how to do these problems as you go to sleep tonight. Could cause sweet dreams or nightmares.